experienced a tremor, and instantly I call my mom. We always think our parents are doctors, especially our moms. So I call my mom, and she told me to call my doctor. And at that time, I had a different physician. So I called him and I addressed what was going on. He scheduled me to have an MRI, which is used to detect MS. And when the results came back, he diagnosed me with neuropathy. Again, I'm 26, so I guess the seriousness, I've always been healthy, always been athletic, but hearing neuropathy at 26, not having that basic knowledge of it, I just kept going on with my life, right? So 2 years after that, I had this intense episode where there's a tingling numbness sensation from, I want to say, my lower back to the bottom of my feet.
Mm.
And it felt like I slept wrong, maybe. I thought I was hungover. I went out the night before, but it just felt different. I believe we know our bodies, right? So this was a little more intense, and that was alarming to me to really reach out to my primary care doctor at that time. And that's when he said, that sounds like diabetes, but I'll test you for everything. My results came back, and he said, I'm 99.9% sure you have MS. Um, when I heard it, of course, loosely I've heard of it, but MS, there's so many nuances, right? So people are not familiar with it. So that's one of the reasons why I advocate now. But when I heard it again, it felt like a ton of bricks, and I just went blank for a second. And there's certain disparities I've experienced with my journey, because even though he's telling me that, he also informs me that he can't diagnose me because he's not specialized to do that. So he would have to refer me out to a general neurologist. However, his MA says we can't refer her out because after today we no longer accept her insurance.
Wow.
So I had that dropped on me. I had to find a different primary care doctor, and that took some time. And my memory is not that sharp, but this was so traumatic that I can remember this like it happened yesterday.
Mm.
And I remember I felt a new primary care doctor. She did the MRIs, my brain, my neck, and my spine. The results come back, and she said, I'm so sorry because you are so healthy. You're so young. It does look like MS. She immediately tells me that she's going to refer me to the best neurologist my insurance could cover. And I had loose knowledge at that time of MS, so I asked to be referred out to the Cleveland Clinic
Mm.
because they have MS specialists. She kept telling me my insurance does not cover that. That was misinformation. So throughout my journey, it's been a lot of conflicted misinformation. So I would like to clear that up today on some of the resources that are available, and then also to go back to what relapsing remitting MS is. So for me, what that looks like is my body experiences attacks that are new symptoms, and I may partially recover from those symptoms or completely recover.
Mm.
It's really unpredictable. So when I say partially, even today as I'm sitting here, my feet are vibrating. It's like
Oh,
a
wow.
vibrated sensation, and that's due to me experiencing dead leg, drop foot,
Mm.
years ago. Um, and then going back to where I mentioned, I realized I was misdiagnosed. So when I became a patient at the Cleveland Clinic in 2022, they were able to bring up all my MRIs I had over the years, and they mentioned the one in 2014, and they asked me why I had that done, and they zoomed in on my brain, and the lesions presented at that time. So that's why I realized, oh my gosh, I was misdiagnosed with neuropathy.
Mm.
Wow. So you've got a lot
This is a
going
journey.
on. It's a
Yes.
it's a huge journey, and um, there's so much more information I would love to get into. Time just does not allow. But you have some resources that you can share. You've got a walk coming up in April. So share a little bit about that. How do people connect?
Absolutely. If you are on social media, Twitter, Instagram, you can find me at the Katz. That's Katz, Z as in Zulu way. And just click in my bio. From there, you'll be directed to join my team to register. The walk is being held April 6th at Sunset Park. It kicks off at 8:50 a.m. in the morning. Again, you can find that directly on my Instagram handle. For more resources such as MS, if you're curious, visit the National MS Society.org. It's a great resource.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for sharing your story and your journey. It takes a lot for people to do that, and we just want to acknowledge that everyone does not want to share their business, right? As we say in our community, don't share my business, don't tell my business, but sharing is actually caring, because somebody may have these symptoms and don't know what to even go to their doctor and ask to be tested for.
Absolutely. And again, there's a lot of nuances, and MS is hard to identify because it looks like a lot of other things.
Right.
Lyme disease, diabetes, Parkinson's. So it's really hard. It is not well exposed
Right.
yet.
Well, we appreciate your advocacy and thanks for coming on with us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And this